What's up, y'all? Coach 420 bringing you meal of the day. We're doing some Carnitas Tacos. We're going to be making some pulled pork. You could use this as a basis for any kind of pulled pork dish you want to be doing. So first we're going to take some pork shoulder, otherwise known as pork butt. You could do this bone in or bone out, depending on what you can get from the store or your local butcher. We're going to slow cook that in some braising liquid for about 5 hours total. So first you can see our good chunk of pork shoulder right there in our baking dish. So to start our braising liquid, we're going to start slicing off some jalapenos, and we're going to sprinkle those around. Next we're going to put in some sliced onion as well. So first we're just going to take off the tops, the bottoms, cut it in half, peel off your outermost layer of the onion. And we're going to slice that up as well. Anytime when using a knife, you should always make sure you use the claw, which means that you are keeping your fingertips back behind your most outward sticking first knuckle, and use your middle finger as your guide. Keep rubbing the edge of the knife along that flat part of your middle finger, from your first knuckle to your middle knuckle. This will always ensure that you do not cut yourself. So we are then going to sprinkle our onions around our pork butt. Next we're going to grab a couple cloves of garlic. Then we're going to season this up with some black pepper. A good amount of kosher salt. Throw on some dried oregano leaves. Throw on some cumin. And we're going to put on some coriander. Now for our actual braising liquid, we're going to use orange juice and water. So we're just going to start with a couple cups of orange juice. Carefully pour that around. And then we're going to finish off the rest of it up to the top of the baking dish with water. Then we're going to cover all that with some aluminum foil. We're going to put that into a preheated oven at 300 degrees. And we're going to cook that covered for about 2 hours. Just right in the middle of your oven. So once you've cooked it for about 2 hours, we're going to uncover it. And you can start to see that the pork's already starting to get nice and white, starting to cook around. The onions and garlic and jalapenos are starting to soften up and infuse into that braising liquid. We're going to put this back into the oven uncovered, and we're going to crank the heat up just a little bit, up to 350. We're going to cook that for about 3 more hours or so. We're going to flip it in the liquid and start to cook some of that bottom side so we can start to crisp up some of that as well. That's been sitting in our liquid the whole time. So for about another half hour or so, once you pull that out, your meat should be totally done and fork tender. This may depend on how big of a chunk of pork butt you have. Once you pull that out of the liquid, like I said, it should be fork tender, and just start to flake away with a couple of forks. Now as you pull this, you want to make sure that you are going with the grain. Sounds counterintuitive. Normally when I would tell you to cut meat, I tell you to cut against the grain. But when you're shredding stuff like this, you want those long muscle strands. So you're actually going to be going with the grain. So just keep working away at it as best you can with your forks. Just keep pulling it, breaking down your big chunks. There are these kind of weird like bear claw tools that you could use. I don't really own those, but they're neat. So like I was saying, you'll see all this just long muscle strands. And that's what we're pulling away. We've got our nice shredded pork now. So next we need a vessel to put into our tacos, right? So we're going to heat up our corn tortillas. We're going to start off with a small little bit of oil in a small saute pan. That oil helps bring some moisture into your dry corn tortilla, as well as gets you to help fry it up, steam up any trapped air that's in there, which helps create a lighter corn tortilla. It doesn't feel so dense in your mouth. And frying it up, giving it a little bit of golden brown on the outside is a nice little texture, a little bit of crispiness on your corn tortilla. So we're just going to heat those up till we get some nice little golden brown spots on both sides. And make sure you don't do this on too hot of a pan or you'll burn this quickly. See those nice delicious golden brown spots? That's kind of what you're looking for. That'll be from your air pockets expanding. So once we're good on both sides, we're gonna set those up, stuff in our carnitas into our corn tortillas. We're gonna hit them up with a little bit of salsa verde and a little cotija cheese. And there you have it, folks, some delicious carnitas tacos. Enjoy.